How are you today? So, today we're going to continue with the Unit 6 about the nervous coordination. So the task for today is to revise the information that we learned before, okay? We are going to summarize the unit, and then we are going to learn something about the central nervous system and also the peripheral nervous system. So, I expect you don't get lost, okay? And let's get started. Yes. So the first thing that we're going to do is to summarize the unit about the interaction function. Okay, so remember that it is composed by 3 stages. Okay, the first one is perceiving stimuli. Remember, the second one is to process the information, and the third one is to execute the responses. In the first one, remember that we need receptors. Receptors are neurons that have been modified just to take the information from the outside or the inside of our bodies and to transform it into a nerve impulse. Okay, so remember that we've got internal receptors that gives us the data about the temperature of our body, I don't know, the blood pressure, the heart rate, okay, these kind of things, the carbon dioxide in blood, the amount of carbon dioxide, these kind of things. Okay, the external receptors take the information from the external environment, and the sensory organs are sensory organs in which you can find a lot of sensory receptors joined together just to perform a specific function. Remember about the eyes, the ear, okay, the smell, the taste. These kind of senses, okay, are composed by several receptors that are grouped together just to do this. Okay, the nervous system and the endocrine system are complementary. Remember, in the nervous system we can process the information that we take from the receptors. Okay, no matter if they are internal or external. Okay, so the nervous system is composed by the central nervous system. Okay, this central nervous system coordinates the functions, the bodily functions. Okay, and it is formed by the encephalon and the spinal cord. The autonomous nervous system is composed by the peripheral nervous system. Okay, and it's composed by nerves, and by other kind of tissues, and it's quite important for our bodies. Okay, just to coordinate the responses. And to take the information from the receptors. The endocrine system is composed by several glands, okay, and also the pituitary gland, which is the boss of the rest of the glands, okay, in other words. Okay, the last one, executing responses is also important, just to finalize, just to finishing with this interaction function. Okay, so for them we need effectors. Effectors are going to develop the response. So we can find effectors in the locomotor system, because we can be talking about muscles. Muscles can contract or expand, okay, following the orders of the nervous system. And also the glands. Okay, the glands are linked with the endocrine system, as we are going to see. And okay, this was the summary of the unit. Now we are going to talk about the nervous system a little bit. So we are going to start with the unit 6, okay, nervous coordination. Okay, just to remind you a couple of things first. I want to remind you the objectives of the interaction function is to adapt, okay, the body to the changing conditions, no matter if they are internal or external, and to connect and coordinate all the organs that are composed of bodies. Okay, just for a reminder. Okay, what is an stimulus? It's an agent, action, or condition that elicits or accelerates physiological activity or response. In other words, changes or variations of the external conditions or maybe the internal conditions. For example, internal conditions such as my temperature, okay, for example, my carbon dioxide in blood, I don't know, all those things, the pH of the blood, maybe the heart rate, this kind of things, okay. And external temperature, light, I don't know, sounds from the exterior, okay, these kind of things, okay. So remember, just to take this stimuli, we need two kinds of receptors, internal and external, or also called sensory receptors. Depending on the thing that they are capable of detecting, they are called mechanoreceptors, thermoreceptors, if they take temperature, mechanoreceptors, for example, pressure, okay, chemoreceptors, if I smell an odor, okay, or something like that, nociceptors for pain, ouch, and photoreceptors for taking the light, okay, for example, my eyes. More things, okay. So, coming back to the nervous system, remember that we've learned something about the composition of the nervous tissue, okay, that it is made up of neurons. Yeah, neurons are cells that are so specialized, because of what? Because they have to perform a very complicated function, which is creating nerve impulses, okay, and taking information, okay, coordinate responses. These kind of things are too elaborated. Okay, so for that, neurons are the anatomical and physiological unit. Okay, these are neurons. Yeah. If you remember, we've learned something about the anatomy of the neuron, so it's too easy. Just 3 names to remember. Okay, dendrites that coming out from the cell body. Okay, the cell body. This is a nucleus. Okay, inside the cell body. The cell membrane, of course. The cell membrane is too important for neurons because thanks to that they can send these electric signals through it. Okay, the axon, okay, the axon and the axon terminals. Okay, so repeating again: dendrites, cell body, axon terminals. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, they are too specialized, as I said. Okay, because of that, their reproduction is very limited. Okay, it's important this whenever you consider a person who has just I don't know, a car accident, for example, or a car crash or something like that, and he or she had the hair spine broken, something like that. Okay, it's quite important because we cannot fix this kind of tissue just because they cannot reproduce so quickly, they cannot reproduce as other cells. Okay, this is because they are so specialized. Okay, more things. Okay, types of neurons. Okay, depending on their shape: unipolar neurons, bipolar neurons, multipolar neurons. Unipolar neurons, 1 axon, 2 axon terminals. Okay, bipolar neuron, okay, 2 axons. And the most common multipolar neuron, dendrites, cell body, axon terminal. They are located in different organs depending on their function, the function that they have to perform. Okay, so but for you only to take these 3 kinds of neurons inside our heads. Okay, so I told you to look for some information about the glial cells. Okay, we've got 3 of them here in this diagram. This is an astrocyte, this is a microglial cell, and these are ependymal cells. These kind of cells are too important for keeping safe our neurons. Okay, because they protect them, they give support, okay, and structure for the nervous tissue. They also protect from microorganisms or another kind of pathogens. Okay, and they also give nutrients to the neurons. Okay, so they form like a barrier, okay, that protects our neurons. Okay, it's not like other kinds of tissues that you can find in our bodies. So this diagram is from the central nervous tissue. Okay, you can find this here. So let's continue with the class. Okay, we're going to talk about the nerve impulse. Okay, it's an electric current or an electrical current which is sent through the membrane of the neurons. Okay, it's quite important. So the thing is that the nerve impulse is generated in a transmitter neuron. Okay, and it is sent by the membrane. Okay, through
through the membrane to the next neuron. Okay, they are in contact through these small gaps here called the synapses. Okay, synapses. And then the receptor neurons receive the nerve impulse, and it sends the electric impulse through its axon again. Okay, I forgot to tell you, these are the myelin sheaths. Okay, this myelin decompose is quite important because it's protecting the axon and helps the nerve impulse to be transmitted through the axon too. Okay, so they are produced by the oligodendrocytes, which are another cells that produce this kind of compose. Okay, this kind of chemical substance. So the neurons are not isolated, but they don't touch one with the next one. Okay, because in the middle of their connections there is a gap which is called the synaptic cleft. Okay, this is quite important because they don't have a direct contact. They have a gap inside. Okay, between them. Okay. This is an axon terminal, and you can find here these kind of things, rounded shapes here. These are vesicles which are inside the axon terminal, and if you can look at them a little bit more, they are full of neurotransmitters. Okay, they are involved in the transmission of the nerve impulse too. Okay, so these neurotransmitters are chemical substances. Okay, for example, epinephrine or acetylcholine. They are like the keys that they need on specific locks. Okay, so they are released into the synaptic cleft whenever a nerve impulse, the electric current, reaches the axon terminal. Okay, and they continue to send the nerve impulse, but this time chemically instead of electrical. Okay, so you can find these are the neurotransmitters. These are the specific locks, the specific receptors for them. Okay, and they are involved in the transmission. You don't have to know everything else or something like that. Okay, with this is enough. Okay, now we're going to start with the central nervous system. Okay, with the nervous system, and you need to know something about their functions, the functions of the nervous system. So the first one is that it receives the information transmitted by the sensory organs. Okay, so it receives the information, it interprets that information and prepares an adequate response. Perfect. Okay, and also it transfers the necessary signals to the effector organs. Okay, so it receives, interprets, and transfers the information. That's it. Okay, and also important too. Okay, it coordinates all the organs so that they function correctly in our body. Okay, so imagine I don't know, my digestive system, that it is composed by several organs. They need to work together to perform the digestion process. Okay, as we learned before. Do you remember that? So, and also it carries out intellectual and mental functions. Okay, and it's responsible for our emotions and feelings. Okay, this is the most elaborated characteristics of the nervous system. Okay, so the central nervous system also coordinates all the body functions. Okay, and this is for the central nervous system. This is the encephalon and the spinal cord. Okay, and the peripheral nervous system, which is composed by the ganglia and the nerves. Okay, that's it. This is a diagram about this. To finalize, okay, the central nervous system is composed by the encephalon. Okay, and in the encephalon we can find these parts: the brain, the outermost part of the encephalon. Okay, in which we can find some areas for the memory, the brain cortex. Okay, I don't know, many areas for elaborating our personality. Okay, these kind of things. Also the cerebellum, which performs, which is involved in the balance. Okay, for a body, and the brainstem, which is involved in many autonomous responses, such as, I don't know, keeping our heart rate, our breathing, or these kind of things. Okay. And also the spinal cord. In the spinal cord, we are going to find the gray matter, which is this part of here. This is the gray matter, and the white matter outside. What is that? Gray matter, white matter. Okay. In other words, the gray matter, this substance here, is composed by the cell bodies of the neurons, and the white matter is composed by the axons of the neurons. Okay. This is what we can find, this kind of matter in our spinal cord, whereas in our encephalon, for example, is the other way around. The gray matter is outside, okay, as we can find in our brain, because the brain cortex is full of cell bodies for millions and millions of neurons, okay, and the white matter is inside, okay, this inside is connected the hemispheres, okay, and they are the connections for the brain, okay, for the encephalon. So with this we finish the class of today. If you have any doubts, please contact me through the virtual classroom. So I hope you can enjoy this at home. Okay. See you in the next class. Thank you for being there.